She's a great kid and energetic and full of life, and was all of that up until right about the time that we had to bring her into the ER at Children's. And as an example of that, she was at a state dance championship just 4 days before. Granted, what we thought was a pesky virus turned out to be a whole lot more, but I would never expected, what happened after that. And that was the beginning of a big time period in her life. It took a little while to get there, but ultimately she was diagnosed with what's called HLH, Hemophagocytic Lymphohistiosytosis.
You don't need to repeat that.
Thank you. It's a blood dysregulation. It basically, simply put, as one of the doctors said, it's like a Pac Man disease. The blood cells just eat each other instead of doing their job. And she had incredibly low blood counts across the board, which made it very dangerous for any germs or anything else. But that was what we did not know for the first 10 or so days there. And they treated everything that she was throwing at them. And the day that they discovered what she had, like that, down to the hematology, oncology, and transplant unit with an MRI along the way, and an immediate treatment that was something that they had been planning. They saw her on the radar scope pretty far out and said, maybe this is HLH. And they were right. And I found that more often, that they didn't guess. They had a sense of what to do and when to do it. They were so far ahead of the curve didn't even know they were coming. And that was how they treated it all along the way. A very small number of kids have had this disease, and they came at it with everything they had. And it was cool to watch in action. I got to say, I was in awe of the rounding process every morning. They included me in that, and I would watch the smartest brains in the hallway just work on trying to get this. And she threw some curveballs. That's understandable. Sometimes it's how it goes. But when they did finally nail the treatment, it was an incredible change. In the span of 4 days, she went from status quo to, in essence, get out of here, kid, we need this bed for sick people. And that was just so amazing to see. Granted, there was treatment at home that followed afterwards, but it was only through the brains in that hallway and the art of medicine, I guess is the best way to put it, that I saw happening, that said, here you go. And I laugh because the MACC Fund slogan of Gift of Hope, it's not just an ad slogan. That really is what they provided. The treatment for this was not known 20 years ago. It didn't come out of just random happenings. It came out of people who said, I have no other choice, I'll experiment. The experiments turned into treatments that got proven when they were repeated. And every day we were given the gift of hope, whether it was, we hope we can figure out what this is in the beginning, to we hope we can treat this without going to the inevitable end, which would be a bone marrow transplant. And that gift of hope every day was what they said, this is what we have for currency, this is what we can give you. And they did. And that's what kept us going throughout all. And when we saw the changes, well then, hope was replaced by joy. Posted early on as a way of letting folks know, in social media I just said Copernicus was wrong. When you see something like this, you realize what your world does revolve around. And knowing that there wasn't the treatment there, and knowing that the treatment only came about because of funding, the MACC Fund, and the many kids who preceded her, that was now a viable option, that they said there's a 20% chance she'll get out of this alive. Heck, I'll take that 20% over the zero that might have been 10 or 20 years ago. So if I were to say the MACC Fund saved her life, I'm not out of the realm of reality on that. And passing that along to folks that I talked to there, some knew about Children's, some knew about the MACC Fund, many didn't. And I said, we are blessed to have this so close in our neighborhood. I would have gone across country for it, but I didn't have to. And they have come cross country to be here for it. And I think that speaks volumes for the experts, so to speak. And everyone there who cares so much, because they know they're doing things to change people's lives and save people's lives. And I don't think any of that happens without the funding that says, hey, let's try this.